Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Robert Sports Show. It is here, the first race preview of the 2026 season, Cookout Clash at Bowman Gray. Yeah, the race was supposed to start yesterday, and then the race today, and then it got postponed till tomorrow. Now it's on Wednesday, I believe it is. So yeah, definitely check out the local listings and online. Bob Proctor, Jeff Gluck, and all them to see exactly the times of everything. And there's a chance of snow on Wednesday in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And for all you people that are complaining, why isn't it in Daytona? The last race at Daytona was a demolition derby. It does not need to be in Daytona. Personally, I think we need to look at the Winston, the All-Star race, and the Clash. We need to take these two exhibition races. I know there's 38 dates on the NASCAR calendar. That's not going to change. Take these two exhibition races, the All-Star race, the Clash, put them together, create a new version of this. Call it the All-Star Clash, or whatever you want to call it, or call it, whatever you want to call it. Have 37-point races, so we don't lose that date. Have 37-point races, one exhibition race. Have this exhibition race somewhere we don't run a points-paying race. So it's going to be the only non-points race. If you want to run it at Bowman Gray, if you want to build the LA Coliseum again, if you want to go to a NASCAR sanctioned short track somewhere, like a Five Flag Speedway, like a New Smyrna, something like that, and have NASCAR put a little money in the infrastructure like they have at Bowman Gray, run the Clash for 3 years, and do another track the same way, I'd be all for that. Here's how you're going to do it. You take your 16 chase drivers, any driver that won a race, any driver that won a pole. You meet one of those three, you automatically qualify for the Clash. You take those drivers, ever how many there is, you split them in two. You run 2 heat races. You use the points from the previous season to set those heat races. Those drivers alone are in these 2 heat races. The first heat race is just like the duel for the inside row. The second heat race is for the outside row, just like the duel. You run that 50 laps or whatever you do it, wherever track you have it at, you can decide the length of these heat races. How you finish in that heat race is how you start the Clash. That is just race winners, pole winners, and chase drivers. Now, everybody else, same thing. You set the field for their 2 qualifying races. Their 2 qualifying races the same as the other one, 50 laps. It sets the inside and sets the outside for the last chance race. So you're going to have 2 heat races for just the race winners, chase, and pole winners. That sets the field for the Clash. You're going to have 2 more heat races for everyone else. That sets the field for the last chance qualifier. So they run 50 laps. You set your inside-outside for the last chance qualifier. Your last chance qualifier is 100 laps, for instance. Only the top 2 move on to the Clash. They start in the back. You have 1 fan vote. You have whoever is the highest in overall points that isn't already in the Clash. You run your Clash. You can do stages. You can do nothing, whatever you want to do with that. Just obviously announce ahead of time. If you want to do something goofy because it is the kind of a exhibition race, that's cool too. If you want to do mid-race caution and then no caution left, kind of like they do now, that's fine. If you just want to run no stages, no nothing, you just run and you figure out strategy from there, I'm all for that. You want to go back to the old All-Star days where you invert the field and all that good stuff. Or there's a vote from the fans, you can invert the field or not, and you can do a poll on it, whatever you want to do, Boom, there you go. You do it at the beginning of the year. You put it anywhere that does not have a NASCAR points paying race. So wherever that is. Now obviously you got to worry about weather in some places. You can't go too far north. So there you go. That takes care of the All-Star race and the Clash. Put them in one. I don't think we need both of them anymore. Now, let's look at the Clash we have now. If you look at the history of this race, 1979 through 1997, the good old days, as some people say. 20 laps, 15, 16 minutes. It ran between February 7th and February 13th. 1998 through 2000, it was 25 laps, so about 20 minutes. It ran the same kind of time frame on the calendar, February 7th through February 13th. 2001 through 2008, it up to 70 laps, 57 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes. These are kind of TV time stuff. So same kind of time frame, February 7th through February 12th. 2009 through 2020, it was 75 laps. So you notice we kept changing it. It was about an hour to an hour and a half. February 6th through February 18th is kind of the range it ran. Now, during this time, the Super Bowl ran up until 97 between January 21st and January 31st. Same way, or up to through 2000, from 1979 through 2000. In 2001 through 2008, the Super Bowl was a little bit later. It was January 28th through February 6th. And then 2009 through 2020, through 2021, that Super Bowl now is February 1st through February 7th. We went to LA for 3 years for the Clash. We ran 1 year at the road course at Daytona, 35 laps, is an hour and a half. 2022 through 2024, we did the 150 laps at LA. It was about an hour to 2 hours. February 3rd through 6th is kind of the time frame we ran it. During that time, the Super Bowl was even farther into February. It was February 11th through 13th. So now, from the time this Clash started in 1979 through 2024, the Super Bowl, the NFL Super Bowl, the biggest show in the history of shows, went from January 21st through February 13th. That's how far that football season is extended out. This year, the Super Bowl is February 9th. Next year, the Super Bowl is February 14th. So it's actually President's Day weekend, which is the weekend that the 500 typically starts. So that's going to push NASCAR's calendar off a little bit as well next year. So for those folks saying they can just run this the week before Daytona like they used to, no, you can't. That's Super Bowl weekend. You run anything on that Sunday, no one's watching it. And I saw a comment, somebody like, just run it at 10 a.m. No, that's not going to work. People are not going to watch motorsports the day of the Super Bowl because people are getting their Super Bowl parties around. People are attending Super Bowl parties. They're not watching NASCAR. NASCAR wants its own kind of deal. They don't want to run head-to-head with an event that big. So what I'm getting at is we can't just run it the week before the 500 like we used to, because that weekend for sports isn't available any longer. So it needs to be 2 weeks before. You don't need to hang in Daytona for 2 weeks. Put this at a non-points racing track, like a Five Flags, like a Bowman Gray. I guarantee you go back to Bowman Gray next year, it ain't going to snow. And according to what I Googled this, the average snowfall in Winston-Salem, North Carolina for the month of February, 1 inch. They had like 7 or 8. I know Larry Mack put a thing under, but he had 7. So, yeah, no. But anyway, practice and qualifying sets the lineup for the heat races. From what I'm understanding now, there are 4 groups, top 5 in each group. After qualifying, we'll move on to the Clash. Everyone else races in the last chance qualifier. So from my understanding, they're going to have 4 groups go out. They're going to get 2 8-minute sessions apiece to practice. Then they'll have a 4-minute sessions. So each of those 4, so the 8 4-minute sessions for qualifying. Your fastest lap during that will be your qualifying time, and they'll line them up. The top 20 automatically move on. Everyone else goes to the last chance qualifier, which I think is 75 laps. And then they will move on. The winner will move on to the main event, the Clash. The Clash is going to be 200 green flag laps with a break at lap 100. Caution laps do not count. Last year, the heat winners, which we don't have those now, was Chase Elliott, Brett Keselowski, Chris Buescher. Or 1 and 2 in the heat was Chase Elliott, Brett Keselowski in heat 1, Chris Buescher, Chase Briscoe in heat 2, Denny Hamlin, Joe Logano in heat 3, Reddick, Bell, heat 4. Last chance qualifier was Kyle Larson and Josh Berry. The top 5 in qualifying last year was Chase Elliott, Chris Buescher, Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, and Brad Keselowski. The top 5 in the actual Clash last year was Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, and Bubba Wallace. I know Shane Van Gisbergen ran in the top 10 most of the night. Now, everybody complains about this. It's a slow track. Actually, a lap around Bowman Gray Stadium is 14.115 was the pole last year. The Bristol pole last year was 14.9. So yeah, they're going not that fast, but they get around that quarter mile pretty quick. But yeah, I mean, Bristol obviously high bank speedway. High bank's gonna be a little bit different, but yeah, this is a flat quarter mile track. The people that say, well, NASCAR shouldn't be at Bowman Gray, those are the same people that said NASCAR needs to go back to their roots. There's nothing more root of NASCAR than Bowman Gray Stadium. I mean, come on, folks. That is the root of NASCAR right there. I know, and I saw somebody comment, and I commented on it. He apparently know. The comment was, why do you think Bill France went to Daytona for? It wasn't for the Daytona 500. I'm sorry, it wasn't. It wasn't for the Clash either. If you knew your NASCAR history, now inform me, because I've done a NASCAR history video, and we'll do it again next off season. Bill France actually moved to Daytona in 1935. Bill France Sr., that is. Because of the beach and road course race. And he actually raced in it quite a number of years, and he became a promoter for it. While he was a promoter for it, he decided, you know what? These drivers deserve a promoter that's not going to steal from them. Because there was some promoters back in that era would take, when the fans would come in, the race would start, he would take all the money instead of giving it for the purse for the drivers. Out the door he goes with it. So he wanted a organization with rules and everything that everybody can abide by. Now, when Bill France Sr. decided to do this, because of the, partly because he was the promoter there for the Beach and Road Course race, he wanted to create his own racing series. So, in 1946, yeah, you heard me correctly, in 1946, Bill France Sr. Started the National Championship Stock Car Racing, National Championship Stock Car Circuit. 1946. In 1947 they ran. Ed Samples was the 1946 champion. Red Byron was the 1947 champion. Oh, was it Red Byron? I know Red was in there. Let's see if I have that here handy. Let me see if this is it. Yes, Red Byron was the 1947 champion. And then we all know the famous meeting, December 14th, 1947, that happened with 35 people, mechanics, drivers, from that series that Bill France owned. They met at the Streamline Hotel in Daytona. They wanted to create a set of rules it was established, and they wanted to have this racing series that drivers could come race for and not worry about not getting paid and all that. And Red Voigt coins NASCAR Stock Car Association, National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing. Now, initially he wanted to call it another name. Bill France did. Let me find that, because it was actually another series at that time. Let's see if I can find it here. Bill France initially wanted to call it National Championship Stock Car Circuit. But Red Voigt informed him that there was already another series with that. Wait, no, that was his. That was the one that Bill created. Where's the other one at here? There was another series at that time that was... hang on, let me find it here. So back in 1946, 47, a 17-year-old Bruton Smith ran the National Stock Car Racing Association. And that's actually the name that Bill France wanted to name NASCAR until Red Voigt pointed out, hey, there's another organization with that name. He's like, there is? I didn't know that. And so they coined NASCAR. And then there was a rule in place where if you drove for Bill France, you could not drive for Bruton Smith, vice versa. Drivers actually got kicked out of NASCAR for driving for Bruton Smith as well. Bruton didn't own it, he just ran it. And in 1951, when Bruton came back from serving in the Korean War, that organization was had gone to crap while he was gone, and he ended up folding and joining with Bill France. So, for those of you who want to know why Bill France NASCAR ended up in Daytona, That's kind of why, right there. So, anyway, Cookout Clash at the Bowman Gray. You got a little history lesson there as well. All right, my 4 picks to win. And if you're new to Rubber Sports Show, welcome. I would consider myself a historian when it comes to NASCAR. I love looking stuff up and knowing, having access to that kind of stuff. I do 4 picks for every race. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm not, but that's cool. My 4 picks are going to be Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell, and Kyle Larson. It's going to be a unique race, to say the least. So we'll see what happens. We got the 750 package. We got a different short track package this year over last year. We got the weather. If we have the race on Wednesday. Yeah, so later this week I'll get the Super Bowl preview up. We'll continue the countdown to Daytona. Then we'll get the Daytona 500, the United Rentals 300, and then whatever the truck race is called, preview all up right before those with a season preview and a chase preview as well. And we'll be ready for the season. And then right before the kickoff, right before the green flag drops on the season, we'll do the 25 top bold and not so bold predictions for 2026. One of those predictions is going to be Shane Van Gisbergen makes the chase with multiple oval track wins. That's going to be one of the predictions. So stay tuned to Rubber Sports Show for that. As always, thanks for watching Rubber Sports Show. Don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day, Rubber Sports Show, your YouTube leader, sports content.